Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Yen, and today I am going to be doing a tag that I've been seeing all over booktube, and that would be the mid-year book tag. I thought it would be fun to share my answers as well as some of the books that I've read this year. And so far this year I have read 30 books, which is amazing. I reached my reading goal. I thought that 12 last year was a lot, and hitting 30 just means so much to me. So now, since I've hit that mark, I think I'm going to try to double it to be 60 books this year, which would be absolutely insane for me. Let's just go ahead and start with this mid-year tag. So I saw Queen Sarah Caroli do this tag. I copied all of her questions, so I will leave the questions down below if you guys are interested as well. The first question is the best book you've read so far this year. I actually have two books to share with you all. The first book I have is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Absolutely love this book so much, and I just can't say enough about Lynn Painter's writing style. It's so easy to read, and I can read most of her books in one sitting. It's so addicting and so fun. This one is basically about Liz and Wes. So Liz and Wes are basically like neighbors, and they don't really get along. She ends up asking Wes for his help to get close to Michael, who is her basically like forever crush. But somehow along the way of trying to get Michael to be her prom date, Liz and Wes end up kind of hitting it off, and so it's a very cute read, and I just love this book so much, so highly recommend. Obviously, my other favorite book that I've read so far this year would have to be Mile High by Liz Tomford, and honestly you guys, I can't stop talking about her books. I can't recommend this enough. It's a sports romance, and I am just the biggest fan of sports romance. So this one is actually a hockey romance. It's about Xander's and Stevie. Basically, Stevie is a flight attendant and Xander's is a hockey player. She is hired to work for his team, so she's going to be traveling with them the entire season. It's pretty steamy because she ends up working on his plane, and you know, their relationship just builds. But her writing style and the whole story is just so nice and amazing. I might have to reread her books again this year, and I can't wait for the third book to come out. The second question is the best sequel you've read this year, and I have two again to share. So I have to share The Right Move. This is the second book in the Windy City series, and this is again by Liz Tomford. Can you tell me that this cover is not beautiful? Like, I just love this so much. This book is about Ryan and Indy, and Ryan is an NBA player, and if you guys don't know me, I am such a fan of basketball. Out of all the sports, that's like my favorite. And so an NBA player, like, that's like my weakness. I just can't get over him. He is honestly the love of my life. But Indy is a flight attendant, and she is friends with Stevie in the first book. Ryan is also Stevie's brother. In this one, Indy has to find somewhere to live, and Stevie makes her move in with Ryan. Initially, he doesn't want her to. He doesn't agree to. But eventually, they start living together, and you know, things just start to progress, and it just gets really good. I just love the endings of all of her books. I think they're so amazing, and you guys will probably hear me talk about this series again forever. So I just can't get over this book. The other sequel that I have to share would be Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I do have the reading vlog for that one. But this book is about Declan and Iris. Declan is trying to be the next CEO, and he has to get married, also have a kid in order to get his inheritance, and this one has marriage of convenience. So I love that so much. I also just love Declan, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5, but I just can't stop thinking about this book. This lives rent free in my head, so I just thought I should mention this book also in this tag. The third question is some new releases that you have not read but want to. So I also have two to share. The first one is Flawless by Elsie Silver, and this is part of the Chestnut Spring series. I have to pick this up soon, and I will get it done by the end of the year. I've been hearing a lot about this book. It's a cowboy romance. Technically, Rhett is a bull rider, but I am just so excited because I know that they don't really like each other initially, but obviously it's going to progress, so I want to see where this one will go. The other book that I really want to read is Happy Place by Emily Henry, and obviously I'm going to get this one done soon because I have to read it before summer is over. I've only read Book Lovers by her, but I can't wait to get into all of her books. This one is at the top, and it's just so cute. So many people have talked a lot about this, and I see a lot of highlighting and, you know, annotations with this book, so I can't wait to read this one. The fourth question is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I actually have 3 to share. I couldn't decide because there are so many books that I can't wait to read, but some of them I didn't even start reading the first one, so I'm not going to mention those books. But my most anticipated release would be Caught Up by Liz Tomford, and that is the 3rd book in the Windy City series. She gave us a preview on Instagram. It's going to be a single dad trope with an age gap, and there's a nanny, I think, and I am literally going to die because I can't wait. I'm just so excited because I know I'm going to be obsessed. The second book that I have to share would be Betting on You by Lynn Painter, because obviously I love anything she writes, so I can't wait for that book to come out. And then the 3rd book I have to share would be Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and that is the second book after Icebreaker, and I've been waiting for the second book to come out for so long. I gave Icebreaker a 5-star rating this year, so I want to know what the second one is all about. So those are the 3 that I'm most looking forward to and honestly can't wait to get. The 5th question is the biggest disappointment so far, and that would have to be X's and O's by Amy, Leah, or Leaf. This book is basically about Tara. She has been heartbroken 10 times by 10 different men, and she is going to go through her list of exes to kind of see if she can get a second chance. She moves in with Trevor, who is a firefighter, and he is going to help her with her project. Along the way, they fall in love, and I thought that this sounded really good, but it just didn't hit for me, and I didn't really enjoy this book. I think I did give this a 3-star. Can't remember too much about this. I am curious to read Set on You, which would be the first book. I think she is like a fitness person. I don't know, but I have that one on my Kindle, so maybe I'm going to read that one, but this one was just not it for me. The 6th question is the biggest surprise, and that would have to be Book Lovers by Emily Henry for me. This one is the first book I've read by Emily Henry, and honestly this just was very surprising to me. I think it's because I didn't really care about book stories in books, and this cover didn't really do it for me. But when I read this book, it was actually so good, and I think it's because of her writing style that, you know, won me over. I gave this a 5-star rating. This one is about Nora, and she is a workaholic, so her sister convinces her to go to this small town where I think it has to do something with one of her clients, but she bumps into Charlie, who is an editor in the city, and every time she has to interact with him, it's never that great of an experience. She bumps into him everywhere in this small town, and eventually she gets to know him a little bit more. I think it's so cute. I love this book. This gave me all the summer vibes that I was looking for. I would highly, highly recommend this book. The 7th question is favorite new author, debut, or new to you, and I have 2 authors here that I would like to share. Obviously you guys know both of them, but the first one is Liz Tomford. I think now anytime she writes something, I'm going to buy and have to read because I just love her writing and I enjoy them so much. Both of her books are like 5-star reads for me, so it's not a surprise. I just can't believe that those books made such an impact on me. The second author would have to be Emily Henry because I hear a lot of things about her books, but I have only read Book Lovers and fell in love, so honestly now I'm just so interested to get into all of the books that she has written. The 8th question is newest fictional crush. I had to think about this one, but it was very easy because it has to be Ryan Shea from The Right Move. His character, I just love the man, and you guys, I I think about him on the daily. Okay, that's basically the only person that I would literally want to marry. The 9th question is newest favorite character, and I actually didn't write anything down for this one just because I can't think of another character that I really like. I just have a hard time remembering characters, so if I had to pick one, maybe it would be another male character. It would be Jack from Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I just finished reading that book and I love that man. I thought his personality was amazing and perfect, so honestly he's like my new favorite character. I tried to think of other ones, but honestly nothing comes to mind, so I guess that's my answer for this question. The 10th question is a book that made you cry, and I actually have 3 to share. I usually am a pretty emotional person. If something is sad in the book, I will cry. The first book that I actually don't have a physical copy of would be Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I read this one on my Kindle and I literally bawled my eyes out. I love that book so much. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but I think about that book so often and I think I have to reread that book. It was so good and I just am speechless. And then the second book that I have to share would be Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I really enjoyed reading this book. It's basically about a young mother who fights to earn a place in her child's life. She served 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake. Her name is Kenna. She returns to the town where it all went down and she's hoping to reunite with her 4-year-old daughter, but no one is giving her a chance, and there's this one person named Ledger. Ledger is a very important character. This book just kind of broke me. It was pretty sad, but I did enjoy this, so I would recommend picking this book up when you're in the mood to cry. The last book that I have here would be Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, because I read this recently. I like sobbed, and you guys I think can see in one of my reading vlogs, I did not expect whatever happened to have happened. This one is about Macy and Elliot, and I love Elliot's character. His mother passed away, so she's trying to come back for his mother's funeral, and they kind of like reconnect. After all these years, something happened that caused them to stop talking to each other for a decade. You will obviously uncover what happened, but I really enjoyed this book. I gave this one a 4-star rating. Question 11, a book that made you happy. I have 2. Again, the first book is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, because this gave me all the vibes and I was just super happy while reading this book. I loved it so much and I had such a great time, so that's why I had to mention this one again. And then the other book would be Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This one is the second book to When in Rome. This book is about Annie, and she owns a flower shop. She lives in this small town, and Will is just coming by to be a bodyguard for Amelia, who is a famous person in the first book, and they somehow fake date and fall in love, and it's so cute. I was smiling while reading this book and it just genuinely made me so happy. I gave both of these books 5 stars, so make sure you check them both out. They were perfect reads for the summer. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book that you've acquired this year, and I actually have 2 that are coming. I have to mention them because they're so beautiful. I purchased the UK cover of Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. These covers are so pretty, and I honestly can't wait to have them in my hands. Since I don't have a physical copy yet, the other book that I want to mention would be Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This book is just beautiful. I love everything about it. I love pink and the flowers, just the 2 of them. I think it's literally perfect. Question number 13 is books that you want to read by the end of the year, and I have a lot that I want to read, but I'm going to mention these 4 because they're like my top priorities. And the first book would be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, just because everyone has read the ACOTAR series and I just need to get into it because I feel like this is the most popular series in the book community, so I just can't wait. And I am starting my fantasy era, so hopefully I can read this one soon. Honestly, it would be great if I can read the entire series by the end of the year, but just a small step first, and that would be the first book. The second book I have is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. You guys, again, another popular series, and I really want to get into this one. I heard this one is alright though, so I don't know, but I do want to know what it's all about. I have to read this one and start the series because it's a long one. I need to read the first one at least. The third book that I have is Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this cover is cute too, but I do like the UK one. Right now I'm trying to read Caraval first and then hopefully get into this one. I know that the third book is coming out, so I really want to pick up this book because I've heard so many amazing things about this one. Last book here that I have to share would be Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. You guys, it's so conflicting whether you like this book or not, but I loved watching Gossip Girl, so hopefully I do like this one. I know it's very toxic and I just heard it's a lot of drama, so I'm here for it. Hopefully I do like this one, but again, I want to get started into the series, so this is probably one of the top books that I want to read by the end of the year, so I can't wait to get into this one. The last question is favorite book to movie adaptation. Honestly, it's a little bit conflicting because I have not read a book that has become a movie that I liked. I don't know if this counts because it's a TV series, but I would say The Summer I Turned Pretty because that's basically the only series that I've read and I love the TV show, so I can't wait for season 2. The other two that I want to mention, I didn't even read the books yet, so I don't think they count, but I would have to say Bridgerton if I can because I don't know how the books are, but I love the TV show so much. And then also, I have not read My Fault yet, but I watched the movie because I've been seeing it all over Book Talk. I love that movie so much and I've watched that 3 times, so it's so crazy. I don't think they count, but I still wanted to mention them because I enjoyed those shows slash movies. So those were all of the questions in this tag. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my answers, and I just think it's so fun to do a tag. Feel free to do the tag and share your videos with me down below. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!